Killer Croc had been kidnapped by Black Mask and placed inside a cage several weeks earlier. Black Mask had requested Mad Hatter to implant one of his mind-controlling microchips inside Croc's brain. After a few days, Black Mask went to the cage where Croc was held and noticed that he was scratching his head. After calling Hatter to make sure everything was going fine, Tetch assured Black Mask that everything seemed normal, despite the fact that he had never done an implant before. Black Mask needed Croc at that moment to go out on a special mission. At that moment, Batman was staring at Jason's Robin suit display case in the Batcave and soon decided to start patrolling the city. Batman spotted some strange activity near a bank and went to investigate. Inside the bank was the False Face Society, along with Killer Croc, who was being controlled by them and was wearing a hat too small for his enormous size. The False Facers commanded Croc to remove the vault door, and with little effort, Croc removed the door from its hinges. As the thieves got inside and started looting, Croc stayed outside and scratched his head until he made himself bleed, soon removing the microchip from inside his brain. Without the mind-controlling chip, Croc regained control over his actions and attacked the False Facers. Batman, busy taking care of the criminals outside the bank, eventually entered, only to find the dismembered bodies of the criminals and blood all over the walls. Batman took a quick look and realized that this was Croc's work. He started investigating the crime scene for any useful evidence and found a bloody microchip on the floor, which he took. However, the Gotham City Police Department soon arrived at the scene, and Batman was forced to flee the bank as officers shot at him. After losing the police, Batman started following Croc's trail again, which led him to the sewers. However, the time spent evading the police allowed Croc to get away, and all Batman found was the small hat that Croc had been wearing. Batman decided to start analyzing the evidence he found, but since the Batcave was too far away, he headed to the former house of James Gordon. Batman had bought the house under the alias Brad Westwood when Gordon decided to sell it. Batman kept the house exactly as Gordon had left it, except for the basement, which he transformed into a small Batcave equipped with most of the original Batcave's elements, only smaller. Batman analyzed the chip and discovered that it was one of Mad Hatter's mind control chips. He also analyzed the tissue left on the chip and learned something very disturbing about Killer Croc. While the machine ran the tests, Batman went to the backyard and sat in silence, contemplating his next move. Meanwhile, Killer Croc woke up somewhere in the sewers, and the only thing on his mind was revenge against Mad Hatter. Batman read the full results and knew that he had to find Croc as soon as possible. Mad Hatter, sitting in his hideout and admiring his army of young women, who were all mind-controlled by the hats they wore, was pleased with his progress. At that moment, Killer Croc burst in, breaking down the walls, determined to make Hatter pay for what he did. Hatter told the kidnapped girls to serve Croc as food, but Croc refused to eat them and instead freed the girls from Hatter's control. When Croc and Hatter were left alone, Croc grabbed Hatter and prepared to devour him. Batman arrived just in time and saved Hatter from certain death. Batman fought Croc and used bolas to stop Hatter from escaping. Croc, confused as to why Batman cared if Hatter died, asked why. Batman replied that he was also concerned if Croc died. Batman then revealed that he had discovered Croc had a brain infection that would kill him if left untreated. Furthermore, the infection had reactivated the virus implanted in Croc by Hush, causing him to mutate again. However, this time, Croc's immune system would not be able to stop the mutation, and he would continue mutating until his death. Croc refused to believe Batman and leapt to attack him. Batman seized the opportunity to inject a massive dose of antibiotics into Croc's tongue. Croc, believing Batman had injected him with a tranquilizer, ran away to avoid capture and imprisonment. Batman let Croc go and instead apprehended Mad Hatter. Back in the sewers, Killer Croc vowed to get Black Mask and make him pay. Subscribe for the next chapter.